Hey guys, this is a different kind of video today. Chadwick Boseman died August 28th, 2020. It's hard to believe that it's been a whole year. I wanted to do this video kind of as a reflection of a year later to see and kind of just remember the impact he had, because this death, it hit me particularly hard as just a fan, but also a person of color. I've still not fully gotten over Chadwick's passing. And even though I didn't know him, he had a widespread effect on the world. And that's what happens when you're an icon of pop culture. You've resonated with people. There is a feeling in the air when I think of the Black Panther, when I think of Jackie Robinson, when I think of James Brown, when I think of Chadwick Boseman. The impact that you have when you have a responsibility to take a platform and essentially play a character or a role or be a voice of a franchise. You have this responsibility and a duty to take that with its stride and present and preserve a gentle respect of the subject matter in which you are tasked with portraying. Chadwick Boseman was not only one of a kind, he was the only of himself that I think there will ever be. And he played characters, Black culture icons, like Jackie Robinson, like James Brown before, but Black Panther was specifically impactful because it was a lot of firsts. It gave Black children, Black boys and Black girls the ability to look up at a superhero screen and see someone who not only was brave and powerful and just and fighting for what was good and wholesome, but it was looking up at someone who, had all of those qualities enveloped into one essence that also looked exactly like them. Now, I myself am half Black, and I remember seeing Black Panther 4 times in theaters because of the emotional resonance that landed within me from seeing what I believe to be the first time ever. Now, a lot of people go on with, there was Blade and there was this, and there was different ballpark. Blade was an anti-hero, aggressively violent, killed a lot. And that wasn't the same thing. The Black Panther was not only the first ever majority all-Black led cast, that was also a blockbuster movie that also made over $1 billion at the box office. That had never happened before. And what Chadwick Boseman represented to an entire age group, an entire culture, an entire group of little boys and little girls who could look up at a screen and not just see a superhero that was, a white buff male or a white rich male. They could see someone who looked just like them and emotionally let that strike them in their heart, and it truly struck a chord because they were seeing something for the first time that they were never going to see again. And Chadwick Boseman Not only did he handle this role with grace, the man was diagnosed with cancer literally the same year that the first appearance he made as Black Panther in Captain America 3 Civil War released. So the same year, he gets the role of a lifetime, this epic responsibility. He finds out that he is possibly terminally ill. And he kept it quiet. And he didn't share. And he didn't complain. And he kept it private. And he continued to do movies, do what he loved. Worked with countless charities. The Black Panther Challenge, the Boys and Girls Club, so many cancer foundations, children foundations. Even last year, in early 2020, he donated $4 million of emergency equipment to children's hospitals for COVID-19 relief. This man, literally, for the last 4 years of his life on this earth, spent more time doing charities, donating to children's hospitals, fundraisers, speaking out for kids with cancer. This man literally knew he was dying. And with an abundance of just humility and grace, literally just gave back. He didn't ask for publicity. He didn't tell a single soul. This man, knowing he was terminally ill, in 2019, got engaged to a woman he was dating that he met in 2016, the same year he was diagnosed, the same year he first appeared as Black Panther. And they got privately married in secret. That his family revealed after he passed, unfortunately. He got married in the last year of his life, knowing he was going to die. There's something about that specifically that truly fills me with this overabundance of just warmth. That even though he knew he was passing and that he couldn't turn back and he couldn't change it, he still just kept following love everywhere. He just kept going with love. He went with love the last 4 years of his life with all those charities, those cancer events, those support groups, those everything. Not complaining, just willingly, freely giving as much money that he earned as he could to helping other people, specifically children. Even donating tickets to the Children's Hospital for the cancer children who wanted to come see the Black Panther movies. He bought dozens upon dozens of tickets so these kids could go see a movie to just escape from their reality for just a little while and just be blown away by a spectacle. Getting married, literally, just the year before you pass, because he wasn't going to let anything stop him from being happy even up until the moment he died. And it was said that he passed surrounded by his family and some friends. A year later, when we look at everything in the world with how selfish it can be, how selfish it got during the pandemic, how celebrities, how anybody with a platform has the ability to either do something and make a change or do something and make it about themselves. And then you look at someone like Chadwick Boseman and you truly see that It doesn't matter how much money you make, how famous you get. When you have the ability, when you have a duty, when you take on a responsibility knowing that you affect millions of people's minds, their hearts, with your actions, because in the digital age, everybody with a phone, they relate, they connect across these screens. They resonate, they attach, and they latch onto the person on the opposite side of that screen like instinct. Emotionally, you just click to something. Not just on your phone, but in here and in here, you click. And he knew the responsibility he had. He knew the duty he took on. He knew the platform he garnered. He knew the amount of power he truly had sitting in his hands. And he did nothing but kindness and love and warmth with every last bit of it, down to this man's last breath. He just followed love. There is something to be said about a man who can gain the whole world and lose his soul. But there's also something to be said about a man who can literally gain the whole world and keep his soul. And that was Chadwick Boseman. A year later, every time I hear one of the songs from the Black Panther movie, All the Stars by Kendrick Lamar and SZA, every time I listen to Pray For Me by The Weeknd and Kendrick Lamar, every time I see his face or see a picture of him smiling with children at a children's hospital in a cancer ward, I see that mural of him doing the Wakanda salute, looking down at a little boy who's dying of cancer with a Black Panther mask on. That mural that Disney, by the way, sold to a children's hospital and is currently at one, which is such an amazing legacy for him, I'm sure. But just every time I think about it, every time I see him, right down to the purple lighting on in my studio, I look at him and I remember that when I'm in my most selfish moments, when I'm thinking about only myself, when I'm having those moments where I just, for some reason I can't find an ounce of humility in myself in my selfish moments, I'll think about Chadwick Boseman and think about how a man who could have millions and had everything and still lost his life truly lived like nothing was ever being taken away from him, even when he was giving every bit of himself to everyone he touched and knew and loved. A year later, he's just as remarkable now, if not more. And his legacy is that of one that I literally, honestly, it affected me enough to where I can honestly say I think about Chadwick Boseman on a daily basis, because he's someone I truly look up to as not only an inspiration, but as someone that is not only a role model, but someone to, when you're in need of hope, when you're in need of something uplifting, you think about something or a religion or a Bible or a song or something that just does something to your soul and it sets you on fire, I think of Chadwick Boseman. And I just wanted to share that with you, because a year later, there's just something so impactful. And I like what I said earlier. A man who gained the whole world, but he never lost his soul. Thank you guys for just watching. That was something I wanted to say. And rest in peace, Chadwick. You will never be forgotten. Your legacy is one that will stand the test of time, not just in Black culture, but in any culture. Wakanda forever, Chadwick Boseman forever, Yibambe. You guys take it easy. Thank you. Bye.